Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do a line graph, to develop a line graph from the data we had in our last lab. So here is an Excel spreadsheet. I've already entered the data. I know these aren't time numbers that we had in, but when you start, that's time 0, and each time we did it. So I just made up this data. This isn't the actual data from our lab. So I just made up some data points so I could show you how to develop the chart. So once you have your data entered, notice I did a column for time. That's going to be our x-axis. And then on our y-axis is going to be temperature. So we're going to have a line for the water sample and a line for the vinegar sample. So you're going to highlight your data, and then you're going to go up to Insert, the Insert tab. Then where it says Recommended Charts, you are going to actually choose, it's going to throw you, a scatter chart. Okay, not a line chart. You think that's what you want, but that's not what you want. You want the scatter chart. So when you pull up the scatter chart, then you start seeing these lines. So you can highlight the different ones and see what you like. There's a nice curve line if that's what you want. I prefer straight lines. And the reason why is because as you continue to go up in science, you'll put down these scatter charts, you'll develop trends, and you'll actually have the spreadsheet develop an equation, a linear or logarithmic equation from what you charted. So I like this one. So highlight the data, choose a graph, click, there it is. Okay, now the problem I have with the chart as is that nothing is labeled. Okay, so your chart title, you need to tell us what we're looking at. We are looking at time versus temperature. And then we don't have either axis labeled. So over here you have this editorial window. So we are going to go to plus, which means you can see that brings up chart elements. We're going to add our axes title. Okay. And then you can also add things like data labels if you want, that shows how much each point was worth. Your error bars, again, that comes into when you have a range of data and you're taking multiple samples. Grid lines, you can make them smaller or bigger, and then your legend. Your legend is telling us that you want that your lines are labeled with the water or the vinegar. Okay. You can also do what's called a trend line. The trend line is what you would develop your linear equation from. So you can do a trend line for the vinegar as well. I don't know why you can't do both, but anyway, we'll do a trend line for the vinegar. Okay, but you don't have to. Okay. Label your axes. Remember I said you're going to do your axes tile, so your y-axis should be your temperature, and always, always, always put in your units. Don't leave any questions to whoever's reading your lab report. And here is your time. And what are the units? We are in minutes. There we go. There is your chart, complete with trend line. Okay. Now, that's Excel for those of you that are using a Mac product. I'm going in through iCloud. It's virtually the same thing. Okay. You're going to highlight your data. You're going to go up here to the little bar graph to select a table. And here you actually do want the line graph. You do not want the scatter plot in this one. Okay. Your chart will appear down here. Okay. Then in your side window is where you're going to change your elements with your axes, that kind of thing. So chart, you're going to add your title. You're going to go time versus temperature. You're going to leave your legend on. Okay, you're going to name your axes, and this actually lets you label X and Y, which I kind of like because it gives you a visual representation of what's an X and Y, your numerical things. So your x-axis is your time in minutes, and your Y, you're also going to add the name, is going to be temperature in Celsius. All right. Now, this one doesn't have grid lines, so we're going to go back and we're going to add minor grid lines and your axes line. So you're telling it to add more lines on the chart. You can also, down here, show what steps you want it at. You're at, I don't know, you can increase the number of steps you have. You can decrease it. Anyway, and then your minor will be like that. So you can do those types of things. Going back to your category X, you can also add grid lines there. Okay. And there you go. Your chart is done here as well. Okay. To make it look a little nicer on the Apple version, you can also shrink how many cells you see, because you don't need all of that, and it's just this little bar in there. And so you have your table of data with your chart, and it looks a lot nicer. And that is it. I would print up that exact thing and put it in my lab notebook. All right, see you in class on Friday.